Hey everyone, it's me, Dr. Whimsy, and today we're talking about some simple things that you can do to make this holiday season a little bit more affordable. I know that it's a stressful time for people, and people are worried that maybe they are going to have a lean Christmas, particularly if you're between jobs or you've been struggling up to this point. So today I'm going to talk about a couple of things that I am doing to make this a really affordable holiday season. And so the first thing I want to talk about is to determine your budget for the month of December. And when I look at my budget, I look at all the categories that I have for my standard budget, and then if I'm trying to come up with extra money for the holidays, I simply find out what areas I can pull from. I'll give you an example. I chose two areas that I decided to pull back on for the month of December because I just want to be putting that money, I want to focus that money elsewhere. So what you can do is you can open up your budget, take a look at your budget, and try and find out whether or not any of the categories can be either cut or removed for the month of December. This is for people who don't have sinking funds. You're an imperfect person and you didn't have enough allotted for the sinking fund. It happens. An emergency came up and you had to, look, life happens. So now we have to hurry up and come up with a little bit of extra money for the month of December to make sure that we can enjoy our holidays. So what I do is I tell people to choose one or two categories that you can begin to pull back on. So for me, I chose the two categories of, I know you're going to be shocked to hear this, but I am a single girl so I can do this. The first is going to be groceries. And this, because these are the areas I've been overspending, by the way. The first is groceries and the second is transportation. So usually I have a set amount that I want to give myself for my groceries. And I'm going to be able to probably pull back considerably for that. And that'll give me a little extra money. What I decided to do is I decided to just use what I already had and not grocery shop once a week like I usually do, and instead just really pull back in order to come up with a little extra money that way. The second category that I chose was transportation, and how I was able to pull back on that was I just decided that I was going to start taking the bus more often and using Uber a little bit less. So just by cutting those two categories, simply by taking the bus, I already did the math on it, taking the bus a little bit more often and only going grocery shopping 3 times in the month of December as opposed to 4 or 5, I'll probably be able to save a couple $100. Well, that's a couple $100 right there. So just, again, look at the budget you currently have and see if there is some way that you can be creative. If you are cutting from the budget, cutting from your groceries, that's fine. Just do an account and a reckoning of your pantry and your refrigerator, etc., and start planning meals for the first couple weeks of December using up what you already have. It's not a big deal. People probably won't even notice, and you'll be able to come up with probably an extra $100 in that category. So that's the first thing that I recommend people do. Do an account and a reckoning of your personal budget and see if there aren't some areas that you can begin to draw back on. The second thing that I decided to do is that it's my policy not to give gifts or receive gifts. I donate to charity for the month of December. That's my own particular tradition. I like to donate to AmericanForest.org. It only costs $1 to plant a tree. And because we have been having a lot of fires here in California, I decided that that would be my charity of choice. I also like to give to the Children's Defense Fund, which is the largest charity for children. And then my third charity is Children of the Night, which is based right here in Los Angeles, and it helps children who are on the streets, abuse survivors who need help and hopefully can avoid being in dangerous situations. So those are the 3 charities that I usually pick for the Christmas holidays. And I let my friends and family know that I do not receive gifts and I don't give gifts. My money goes to charity. So I save money that way. If you do have small children and they are looking forward to a happy Christmas, there's some great ways to get around it. What we did in our family, and I think it's a really great idea, is we would pick one, maximum two good gifts for Christmas or Hanukkah, depending upon your tradition, Kwanzaa, whatever your tradition is. If you're a gift giver, you could maybe afford one, maybe two good gifts. And the rest of the gifts can probably come from other sources. When I was a kid, my parents used to go and they would get me coloring books and crayons. They can be gotten at the 99-cent store, the Dollar Tree, and you can sometimes find new things with the tags still on them at discount stores and used clothing stores. You just have to kind of look around for them. So we had great Christmases. I remember one Christmas I got like 13 gifts. I thought I was the richest kid in the world, and I showed up in school. I was the poorest kid in the school, and I said I had 13 gifts because my older sister was so creative. What she did was she went to discount stores, and she also broke gifts apart. She would buy a special crayon box that had multiple boxes in it. She would break it apart and turn it into 4 gifts. So she learned how to break things apart and gift wrap them separately. And you can always you can make your own socks, which I think are the best ones. My sister always made our socks for us and put them by the fireplace. And then you fill them with things that are cheap and expensive that you can get at your local 99-cent store. The holidays don't have to be expensive. The truth of the matter is what children want from their parents is time, and parents who are available, emotionally available, and curious about their world, the world that they live in. When I just got back from Thanksgiving, I was with my godchildren, my best friend. I'm godchildren to her children, and the nicest time he had with me was doing his math. He had to do his math homework, and I just sat with him and asked him to show me his math and asked him his feelings. You know, how do you feel about school? How do you feel about your life? What are your hopes and dreams? You know, show me how to do this math problem. And I sat with him for about 45 minutes, and when everything was said and done, you know, we had a big Thanksgiving dinner, but when everything was said and done, that was his favorite time, was just sitting with Aunt Whimsy doing his math. And so just sitting with your children while they draw a pretty picture and asking them, hey, you know, why did you choose to paint that flower blue and the sky green? I'd like to know. What were you thinking as an artist when you created that masterpiece? Those are going to be the happy moments, and hopefully these simple tips will give you some ideas about how I'm prepping for the holidays, and I'll be doing more of them as we enter the month of December. I want to thank you for watching this quick video of Broke Aristocrats. Be sure and share, like, subscribe. Tell me what you're doing to love and take care of you and your family without breaking the bank for the holiday. I'd love to know, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.